Tony from Up Brewing Company, and welcome back to another edition of Inside the Tap Room. Today I want to talk to you about what to look for in your beer as a consumer. As a consumer, you should be very conscientious about what you're drinking and where you're drinking it, and there a lot goes into it more than just taste. If you think about what you love about your beer, it's probably the taste, and that's what 99% of us have made decisions on based on what we order, is purely what we like as a taste. Is it something we enjoy? Is it something that we think, hey, I'm gonna get another one of these, or I like this style, I'm gonna continue to order beers of this style because I like the taste profile. So taste has undoubtedly been the most important characteristic when it comes to beer, but there's a lot more that I think that should go into it prior to getting to the point of actually consuming that or taking that first sip of that great craft beer. Quite simply, you want something that tastes good, but is taste enough? I would say that it's not. It's something that you want to dive beyond just taking that first sip and making a decision on your beer. Let's go back to the point where before you even walk into the establishment. Think about bars that you've been to, whether it's a really nice new brewery that opened up or a craft beer venue that's opened up and have a gastropub type flavor to it. Or if it's just an old local watering hole that you've gone to and they serve some good craft beer. There's a lot of things to consider before you even order that first beer. First and foremost, smell the bar when you walk in. If you walk through the door, make your way to a seat at the bar or get a table somewhere, you should be kind of smelling a lot of things, taking it all in. That's going to tell you a lot about your upcoming experience in ordering your first beer. If you have the pleasure of visiting a brewery on the day that they're brewing, one of the things you'll enjoy is the fact that the brewing operations are typically adjacent to the tap room, and getting that real strong malty aroma in the air when they're brewing while you're there consuming their beers is an awesome experience. But be on the lookout for anything that is off-putting. If you walk into an establishment and you smell something that's a little stale, reminds you of being back in college, you get that stale beer, or even if you get something funky or foul if you're sitting at the bar, that's a sign of some serious problems, and I would probably not stay there more than one. So now that you've sat at the bar, you've looked at the menu, decided what you want, and you've ordered it. Next thing to do is to start using your eyes. When that first beer comes, you want to take a look at it. Does it have a decent head on it? Are there bubbles all lining the side of the glass? Has the beer spilled out over and is dripping down the side of the glass? If you get it and there's maybe less than 1/4 of an inch of head on it, start thinking about how long ago did I order this beer? Has it been 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes? Chances are you ordered that beer and it sat there forever and just the head started to go down and it started to get flat. The other problem is that either the beer wasn't carbonated correctly, or most likely the bar or brewery's glycol system is not working properly and it's not being chilled to the same temperature as it is in the keg. The other thing is take a look at the sides of the glass. If you have bubbles all up and down the side of the glass, it's a glass that's not been cleaned properly. Easiest way to cure that is to have a glass rinser that's usually mounted right inside the drip tray of the tap rail. All the bartender has to do is just, hit that glass down on that thing, and it shoots up cold water around the glass and rinses any debris or residue that are left behind. It's not something you would probably notice in taste, but it's a visual thing, and again, we're ordering craft beer because we think it's perfect. It's not just a cheap, yellow, fuzzy, sudsy beer. We want something that tastes awesome and that was made to perfection, and we want it served to perfection. Next thing you should be looking for is going back to your smells. When you take that first sip of your beer, you should be breathing in through your nose. So take a sip, breathe through your nose, and just take it all in. If it's an IPA, it should have a good, nice, hoppy aroma to it. If it's a stout, you should smell some notes of coffee and chocolate and some malt. If you're drinking an English ale or a German ale, you should have a real malty aroma to it. Every beer is going to be different, but you should have some good aroma profiles coming off right on that initial sip. And again, that goes back to the head that's on the beer when it first comes. Part of the reason for having a good half-inch head on your beer is that it helps keep those aromas locked into the beer until you start taking a sip. Once you start taking a sip, it's going to permeate through that head cap that's on the top, and that helps it heighten the enjoyment of the beer. Lastly, as you drink that beer, whether you finished it or maybe you're halfway, the other thing you want to look for is some nice lacing on the glass. All right, as you get about halfway down, you should be seeing some, that kind of foam lacing that's on the glass. Different beer styles will give you more. Belgian certainly absolutely should have a really strong presence of lacing down the glass. That's a sign of a well-made beer. It means that, and they have a good, clean glass to it. That's something really to search for, and it's an awesome sight. And every time you take that sip, you're leaving more lacing behind, and it's something to look at and enjoy and know that you got a good, clean glass and drinking a good beer. One last thing to note, folks. So when you think about the world of craft beer, there are, I don't know how many styles are official right now, but I would say there's probably well over 100 different types of craft beer styles that are out there. I know the Beer Judge certification program every year or every couple years updates their styles. The latest big change was adding the New England IPA style. That, if you haven't had one, is an IPA that has very little bitterness to it, but it has a lot of strong hop aroma to it, and it's very cloudy because it's made with either lactose or flaked oats in it. It's just a really good, should taste kind of sweet. A lot of times we refer to those as juice bombs. Anyways, there are so many different styles out there, and I would implore that when you go to a good craft beer establishment or go to a brewery, don't just get that basic Pilsner, don't just get the lager, and definitely, please do not just order the IPA. There are so many different things out there, and if you're kind of new to craft beer and you haven't tried all these different styles, try them. That's what beer flights are for. That's it for now, folks. Just wanted to give you that little bit of information, kind of a beer 101. As you walk into every brewery, every bar, every tap room, every restaurant that's serving craft beer, these are some little things that I think everybody should look for. So yeah, follow us on all our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Anchor. You can find all our videos housed on our YouTube page, which is listed below. And if you have any other questions, please DM me on Instagram at my personal page below, or send us an email at this email address. Love to hear from you, and maybe we'll start answering some of your questions in our podcasts. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.